Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. In this episode, Ubisoft, they're at it again. This time, Ubisoft's announced that they are working on a cloud-based development tech called SCALAR. So Ubisoft SCALAR, basically, they basically say that they can create limitless open worlds with this, whatever it is. They basically, Ubisoft just really announced the project and that they're working on it. So we don't really know what it's going to ultimately be, but their idea is that basically these games could be patched, or millions upon billions of players could be on a single shard. And the computer tech behind this is so revolutionary, and I think we've heard this before, but we're going to go around and see what everyone thinks of Ubisoft SCALAR. Ubisoft at it again. They're always up to something. Pat, what do you think of the SCALAR?
I don't know. They basically throw around a lot of buzzwords and crap like that. I mean, come on. We really didn't give a whole lot. They basically said, with the power of the cloud, it's in the cloud. Ooh, it's all around us. They're going to overcome technical limitations of video game hardware. I would say that they're behind the curveball on this one. They're not the first to try to do anything with cloud-based gaming or anything like that. I don't know what their intentions are. They've not laid a whole lot of it out. If this is intended to be some type of cloud gaming infrastructure, you're a little late to the party, Ubisoft, and you probably need to check out what Amazon's already done, what Nvidia's already done, what a few others have already done, and few have failed pretty miserably at. I don't think Ubisoft's got more technical capabilities than somebody like Amazon or any of these guys. But it's a very limited knowledge of what we have on what SCALAR is. And then, I really don't understand what they're trying to pitch, because they're basically throwing all this stuff around, and then certain parts are saying SCALAR's not a game engine. It's like, I mean, no cloud gaming is a game engine, but what is it? And so, according to the article that I had read, they're working on a new IP based off of this technology. One of their development offices are. So I'm like, what, the Stockholm location? What are they working on? What is this? I don't understand what it is, and no, we really won't until they give more information on it. But it just sounds to me more like we're going to do more cloud gaming, or, as Nick had mentioned, kind of shard style gaming, where most of the processing power is spread across multiple blades in a blade environment, or for physical hosts in a virtualized environment. But there's very little. But if it is cloud gaming, that's just typical Ubisoft, late to the party as usual. What about you, Shane? What do you think of SCALAR?
I'm excited. Ubisoft is again giving me shit that I don't want. Thank you, Ubisoft. I don't want larger games. I don't want larger open world games. I don't. That's been a big issue. Open world started really cool. Now it takes you a week and a half to cross Valhalla by foot. I'm tired of it. I don't want to have to. I don't want my game to be 80% travel and 20% actual gameplay, meaty, story-driven gameplay. I'm done with that. I'm done with that aspect. I'm done with the cloud. Piss on your cloud. I'm done with cloud stuff. It don't work well. Microsoft has done probably the best job with cloud gaming, and even then, I don't play it. It works for certain things, but Ubisoft doesn't make those certain things. It doesn't work for a slow-driven little RPG or indie game that doesn't, take a lot of compute. But they want me to play Assassin's Creed, Jumanji, whatever the hell they want to do, on some big, giant, massive, Earth-sized open world thing. I don't want that. The gamers do not want their worlds larger. They don't. I mean, Jesus Christ, you walk mountains up mountains and mountains and mountains and hills and water after water just to pick up a freaking key or some bull crap. I'm done with all that stuff. That's, it is just me. I love a good open world when it's done right. Ghost of Tsushima, great example of done right. Not too big. but what was in it was well worth it too. And that's a big problem with the open worlds. They just get bigger, but they don't get better. So I'm done with that. They can scalar all the way to hell with this thing. I don't care. I'm done with it. What about you, Nick?
Wow. All right. We're going to follow that up.
Yeah, follow that. Follow that.
Yeah, I mean, Ubisoft, the thing about it is this has been tried before. Or something very similar to this. And I can't remember who, but there have been companies in the past that have tried something very similar to this, and guess what? It doesn't work out.
Crackdown 3 didn't end this exactly what they were trying to do.
It was supposed to do something like that with the Azure cloud and all that stuff, and that turned out to be nothing, right? These companies, I don't understand, especially Ubisoft. Like, I mean, what do you? We know that they're working on this and they have some ideas, but we don't exactly know what exactly they're doing here. And it sounds more just like buzzwords and just kind of a way to get attention, right? And we got this new thing coming out, and when it comes out, they give this grandiose and spectacular idea of what this is, but when it comes out and it actually is utilized in the real world, it's not going to be what they say it is. And that's how it always turns out, right? And we'll find out that Scalar was just a waste of time and a waste of money, and Ubisoft eventually just ends the project at some point, right? Or they might use it, but they use it in some minimum scope where they had these broad and grand ideas for this Scalar concept, and now they use it to push updates, right? that's basically what it ends up being. All these places, MMOs and various things. We talked about the shard system. MMOs have tried that for years, and they do single shards, but that's when they've lost everybody, right? And then they put it down to a single shard. When they start out MMO with one shard, that's what they try to go with. We're going to do one server, one shard, and everything. It's a huge mess, and it ends up that player base dwindles because it doesn't work. Sorry, it just doesn't work. You can't, that performance in that, putting everybody there is a cool idea and a cool concept. It's just, we don't have the infrastructure to support something like that. Plus, having separate servers and separate data centers is better when you're hosting games. You're able to push that information out a lot quicker to a lot more people than you are having one centralized shard or location to push updates and all that data between you and the client. So this has got to be, this would be a huge data center, right? That they would have to develop to be able to utilize something like this. And does Ubisoft want to put the money behind that? I don't know.
Yeah, they keep touting like never download an update again and things like that. And I'm like, this sounds a lot like cloud gaming to me, right? Like, how do you never have to update your client side application? It's like, I don't know. Exactly. It seems it's all buzzwords and hype, and it's all fairly new. And there's,
Well, you remember the Crackdown 3 trailer from 6 years ago, I think it was. At E3, they were like, they showed off a portion, and they showed off a portion with the Azure cloud built, running in the back, and everything was destructible. Every damn thing was destructible, and it was kind of cool. But when you got online, guess what? It really made no difference. It ran pretty poorly most of the time. But I haven't played it, since probably a month after its release. So maybe they fixed some things, but if it's internet based, if it's based on how good my internet is, I'm screwed. I have one of the crappiest companies. Their rates go up faster than their speed goes up. So it's ridiculous. And even Nick, you've got a great internet company, but you still have issues sometimes too. So I think we need to get out of the ideal of cloud gaming until the country gets on board and follow some of these other countries. Europe, Canada, they all have, hell damn, one of them little South African countries have better Wi-Fi than we do, from Starlink, that Elon Musk thing. You know, I
That's
can't.
satellite.
Yeah, but still, it's
You
better
ain't
what
gonna
I
be gaming
got.
on that.
I bet I could game on it better than I can this damn thing I got here sometimes.
I would highly doubt it, but
You come over here and use my internet. Now it's a really it's I would rather see them put their time, money, and effort into a good engine, a good smooth running engine that may not get the vast open world that's earth wide, but you know what? Give me one that's just solid. I'll take that. Just a good solid running engine. And if you don't like what's happening, next gen consoles, work on those, make them more powerful, but leave the internet alone.
I'd like to see Ubisoft, get away from the NFT stuff, get away from the cryptocurrency stuff, get away from this, and really work on try to develop some games outside the Tom Clancy franchise. That's what I would like to see Ubisoft do. Take some chances with some new IPs and stuff like that. I mean, you have Skull and Bones, which you're trying to say some beta testing is going to happen, but we'll see about that. Yeah, Beyond Good and Evil, where we don't even know where the hell that's at. And the only thing you're making right now is side projects for games that Tom Clancy games that already exist. So
they'll argue with that now because X Defiant lost Tom Clancy.
yeah. I
was
about to say something about X Defiant. Yeah. They took the Tom Clancy name off. They're like, see, Nick, we can make other stuff.
Except for I don't think they
Clancy
took it off.
Probably took his name off.
I was going to say, I don't think they took it off. I think somebody else said you can't use our name for that.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, come on, Ubisoft. Like, you used to be an awesome developer back in the day. And nowadays, I don't even give a crap for anything you make anymore. You got to start, you got to bring back how you used to be and start to wow people with the games that you make. Because now you just a copy paste. You just copy paste everything. And especially with stuff that you do, you try to be on the bleeding edge of everything, but the problem is you're not on the bleeding edge. You're, picking up the rear, basically. So
yeah. And they're milking whatever they do right. They just milk it for 10 years and not even in a good way. I mean, Rainbow Six's Siege was really cool when it came out. I mean, it's not my particular type of game because it's all PvP, but still, it was really cool. But guess what? I'm over that. I want a new Rainbow Six. That's Rainbow Six storyline, multiplayer, all that good stuff. But they're just not doing anything. I mean, they're concentrating on the wrong areas. They're concentrating where gamers don't want. But it's something that unfortunately I think too many of them are doing now. So yeah. Shame on you, Ubisoft, and scale to hell.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Ubisoft will try to do something. Like I said, they said that the Stockholm studio, was it Stockholm? Yeah, Ubisoft Stockholm is working on an IP based on this technology. So we'll see what it is. I mean, the only way I can understand any type of game development in real time, when developers are working on a game real time and it's while you're playing it, is cloud-based gaming, because then there's no client-side application. There's a client, but there's no client-side application, which means zero footprint clients where you're playing the games out of a browser or lightweight client of some kind, which is just not for me, guys. I have gigabit internet, but I still don't want to play a damn cloud-based game. I just don't want to do it. Any hiccup in my internet, there goes my game, or there goes my progress, or there goes. Could you imagine playing anything that is somewhat timing related or anything like that based off of cloud-based technology? Could you imagine playing like a hardcore raid in WoW? Anything. Yeah. Hardcore raid in WoW, and the guy's he's telecasting that he's going to attack in the direction you are, and your internet hicks up, or you lose a packet. You got a 15% packet loss for a second, and next thing you know, you're going to go run right, but instead you got bombed by this guy because your character stood there like a freaking meat popsicle. It's internet gaming is just a horrible design because it has no ability, especially anything that's hardcore. I'm not just hardcore. I mean, because WoW is not hardcore anymore. I mean, it is if you do like mythics and stuff like that. But could you imagine trying to do something like that that requires you to be on timing and be able to see telegraphs and things like that, or playing something like Elden Ring or something of that simple nature, or anything that takes you have to pay attention? Your internet is going to be your issue, because how are you going to get away from that latency issue? Where there is just a little bit of latency. I don't care how fast your internet is. I don't care if you got a 5 millisecond ping to the place you're playing the game from. If you need to move in a millisecond or a second, you're going to die, because your input control versus screen lag between all that is just not going to be there. It never is. We're going to need like quantum entanglement internet before that shit's valuable, in my opinion. But I understand why companies want to go that way, right? It's hardware agnostic. Go buy yourself a damn Chromebook and play our cloud-based games. I mean, but buy the cheapest piece of hardware you can buy, and you can play our games. So games are more accessible to people who don't want to spend $600+ on a gaming computer, or $500 plus on a gaming console. I see the appeal to companies, but I don't think technology is there yet, in my opinion. I mean, because that's why things like NVIDIA's, I can't remember what their NVIDIA gaming cloud thing was. GeForce Now, yeah. I keep getting them fixed up with the NVIDIA Shield thing that they were doing. And then and now Amazon's trying to do it, Microsoft is doing it, everybody is doing it, and it's just going down the toilet. The only cool thing about Microsoft is you can do a real quick demo to see if you want to buy the game or download the game before you do it. I'm like, that's kind of a cool concept. But outside of a demonstration, I don't have a use for any damn cloud gaming. They can keep that crap.
For sure.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see what this Ubisoft Scalar turns out to be. I would suspect it'll probably end up turning out to be nothing, but it could turn into something. So we'll see. We'll keep our eyes peeled and let you guys know what this turns out to be, if anything. So do you guys have anything else you want to add to this before we wrap it up? Before we scale this down?
Ubisoft.
Cloud gaming is like drugs. Just say no.
Just say no. Yes. Take a bite out of cloud gaming. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Make sure to comment down below. What do you think of cloud gaming? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? What do you think of Scalar and kind of the ideas behind this project Scalar that Ubisoft's doing? You think it's a cool idea, or do you think this ain't going to go anywhere? But let us know in the comments down below what you think. Other than that, thanks everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with new videos that we do all the time. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.
See ya.